Go. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in on a live stream throughout South Africa. Welcome. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending this evening with you for about 45 to 50 minutes while we go through what our business is about, what the business proposition is all about. After the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Okay. So before we begin, just a reminder, because it's Easter weekend, we don't have a Friday lunchtime presentation tomorrow, neither a Saturday morning presentation nor a Monday presentation, unfortunately. But that doesn't stop anyone else from doing business, because as you know, you can do business from your mobile phone. Okay, so let's begin. DuePoint, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. We were founded in 1952, so we've been around for a very long time. That's our building in the background. We don't share offices with Constantia, but they're just down the road here in Randburg. That's the branding that they use. The FSP number that we use is that one over there. That's very important. That's our license to operate in financial services in South Africa. If you notice outside in the foyer, as per regulation, we have to have all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. The live things right here. We have to have all our FSP licenses on display. So go take a look at those. That's our stamp of credibility, because we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, and we've got our FSP license on display, and we've also got our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Association. So we take credibility very seriously. As guests this evening, I trust, or I imagine that you need to trust the business we're going to be speaking about this evening. That's very important, especially with all the scams and the schemes going around the country. Trust and credibility is extremely important. So go take a look at those. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a company called Conduit Capital. So I think we are a fairly reputable business that you can depend on. Our leadership here at DuePoint are these characters up on screen now. So the first three people are registered chartered accountants, starting with Brendan, who you saw this evening. He's our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his father's been invested in insurance his entire life. So Brendan and his brother Stuart grew up only knowing the insurance industry. And that's been great for us because of all the experience as a family the Benfields have. And we're very lucky to have got all kinds of things happening this afternoon. So we've got great insurance and financial pedigree in Brendan Benfield, who heads up this division. Then we've got Tim and Stacey. They look after the auditing, the accounting, and the regulatory aspects of our business, which are fairly important. Tim's very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years. Stacey's been working in auditing all her career, so she was with Deloitte since she graduated. She worked here as well as overseas. And then myself and Jane, we're the non-accountants. So we're more fun to speak to than the accountants. So come speak to us if you're going to speak to anyone. Jane is very experienced in network marketing or referral marketing, and that's important to our business because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is dependent on our ability to work in the network marketing space. And so Jane brings international experience to our team. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own digital agency for about 15 of those years. That was fairly successful. In my business, in the 15 years, we didn't retrench anyone. We paid everyone's salaries, so I can deem it to be successful. But I found myself in the same space as employees, and I might touch on that a bit later. But anyway, that's a little bit of background on us and the business. You can go to our website. We've got biographies up on the website. We've got more information on the website. All our compliance information is on the website if you're looking for more. Very briefly, just to discuss our circumstance that we find ourselves in. So I've got a wonderful audience here this evening. I don't know how many people are tuned into the live stream, but people willing to work the day before a public holiday. This is a good sign, right? And at this stage of the presentation, I don't want to be too negative, but unfortunately it is negative, right? Because if everything was great in our lives, if our salaries were everything that we needed, if the economy was everything we needed, you wouldn't be here looking for something extra, right? And so we pay cognizance to the environment that we find ourselves in. South Africa, we often criticized as a nation that invests too much, or should I say invests, engages too much in debt and not enough in savings and investment products. And we find a lot of South Africans are in this debt cycle that they aren't able to get out of. The economy makes it worse for us because our salaries aren't keeping up with inflation. So the cost of living is increasing at a certain rate, and our salaries just aren't keeping up with that. So you can ask yourself the question, did I get a raise in my salary for the last 7 years of between 5 and 7% every year for 7 years? And majority of us say no, right? So your salary is actually devalued against what the cost of living is rising at. Comes to a head when we get to retirement, because when we get to retirement, you're going to have to look at your investments, right, to see what your retirement fund looks like, or your pension scheme. And again, for the majority of South Africans, it doesn't look good. The statistics that we get to show that about 93% of South Africans retire financially dependent. So you get to the point where you get to retirement, your income ends, and now you've either got to go look for another job or depend on a government grant, or you become a financial burden to your children or your family. And this opportunity this evening is about changing that circumstance, changing that prospect for anyone who engages with the system here at DuePoint. So out of all of that negativity, Constantia launched this division called DuePoint a little bit more than 2 years ago, and the DuePoint system was born. And the DuePoint system has aspirations for people that join our business. So you might be thinking, well, I'm just here to earn extra money, but we've got other aspirations for you beyond just giving you extra money, putting extra money in your back pocket. We would like to see everyone in this business become debt-free as quickly as possible, because debt is actually crippling. You don't realize it. You think if you're coping with debt, that's okay, right? But it's not. It actually cripples you with regards to building wealth, because can you become a wealthy person if you owe other people money all the time? You can't. And so our first aspiration is always to become debt-free. That empowers you then to create wealth. And we create wealth through the ownership of assets and investments that appreciate. And ultimately that leads to our third aspiration, and that's for everyone to be happier, right? Not to have this need to have to find something extra, to have to sacrifice time to do something extra, to find something extra, to mitigate the risk that employment has for us in our lives. And so those are the three aspirations we have in our business beyond just creating income. So how does this business work? Our guests this evening, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. And once you join us, you contract with us. And once you contracted with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you only have one task at DuePoint. So just a single task, and that is to go out and build what we call a channel of distribution. A channel of distribution is built just by you introducing other people to this business. The same way you were introduced to this business this evening, you're going to go out and do the same thing. And if you're successful in that process, our online platform will facilitate the sale of products to those people that you introduce to us. And that's as simply as this business works. Right? Explained in 2 sentences. The benefit for you out of that process is that you get to create an additional stream of income. This is very important. If you want to break out of the debt cycle, you have to create additional income. The nature of the income that we produce is recurring income. Now, this is very important. Some people refer to it as passive income. What is recurring or passive income? It's the ability to create income out of an asset that you own, right? You don't have to build the asset or keep selling products every month to get value out of that asset. It's almost like owning a second house. If you owned a second property and you rented that property out, that would bring in recurring income every single month. That's what recurring income is. It frees you of time, right? You don't have to build the house, you don't have to buy the house every month, but you get to get income out of it every month. This business is very similar. The effort that you put into building your channels, let's call it April because we're right at the end of March. Let's say in April you spend time investing into DuePoint, it'll potentially pay you. For just April's work that you did, it'll pay you not only in April, but in May, in June, in July. Right? It'll keep paying you into the future. Potentially it could pay you for the next 10, 20 years, the business that you've done in a single month. That's the power of recurring income. Our system is built with the power of duplication in mind. This is the ability for you to go out and find other people that you bring into your channel to help collaborate with you. So when you go out and you find other people to expose to this business opportunity, if they start doing the same thing you're doing, your recurring income is not going to go up just by your efforts, it's going to go up by everyone else's efforts too. That is leverage. That's like being the sales director at your work, at your office. If you're getting a little bit of commission off of all of your sales staff, that's better than just being a single salesperson, right? The business is similar. That's what we call leverage, the power duplication. I'll show it to you in a little more detail now when we look at what a channel of distribution looks like. Our business is flexi time, so you get to choose when you want to do the business. You can do it on Thursday evenings. You can do it over this Easter weekend. There's no limitation in terms of when and where you want to do this business, and you get to choose how DuePoint fits into your life, because we're all different. The technology that we've invested in allows you to build this business away from head office. You don't have to be near our head office to build the business. You can be anywhere in the country. It can be any time of the day. So you've got that flexibility. There's no startup capital. We don't have startup fees. We don't have registration fees. We don't have starter kits that you have to buy. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy to get started in this business. So we make this business as risk-free as possible. We don't want you to lose anything in this business. So we make it as risk-free as possible. At the same time, we don't care about qualifications or experience, right? I often joke with the audience, did you bring your CVs this evening? Anyone bring their CVs? They all look at me like I'm crazy. We're not interested in people's experience or their qualifications. What we're actually only interested in is a work ethic. How hard are you willing to work? Not only for my benefit, but for your benefit as well. You sitting here, you want something extra, right? What does that look like? It doesn't entail experience or qualification. So anyone can join this business. You get to build an asset in this business. Now, this is probably the most important benefit on the slide, because what we're proposing in this business opportunity is that you sacrifice your free time to do this business, right? Because we all got day jobs. Now we've got to sacrifice extra time for this extra bit of money that we want in terms of recurring income. So that sacrifice, I think, becomes a lot easier knowing that this asset that you're building, this channel of distribution, is an asset that you have legal tender over. It means you actually own, you have ownership over this channel of distribution that you own. You can sell this business. When it starts generating recurring income, I promise you it has value. You can sell it. This business will carry on paying you beyond retirement. Your day job will retire you, right? When you get to 60. You're still going to live for another 30 years. What do they expect you to do? This business doesn't retire you. You will carry on creating recurring income every month beyond retirement. This business will even keep paying you beyond debt, because it's treated as an asset, right? An asset doesn't disappear when you die. The value just changes hands. So who would like to pass wealth onto their children and onto their spouse when they die? But majority of us actually pass debt onto the next generation. We don't want to be part of that. We want to create legacy, pass wealth onto the next generation. That's why building an asset that you own is very important. There's no selling involved in our business. This might confuse a couple of people. They might be thinking, what am I doing if I'm not selling? Right? So our business is split in two. On the Constantia side, we've got our products, right? So we don't sell those products. Our online facility, our online website, our online platform does the sale of products. For you guys are engaging on the DuePoint side. The DuePoint side is the business opportunity side. And that's what you're going to be sharing with people out there in public, right? You're going to be connecting people to the business opportunity, not to the products. Our website will do the job for the products. Your job is just to connect people to the business opportunity. That's wonderful. Who likes to sell products on weekends to their friends? Right? Not many of us. It's not a great prospect. Most people are terrified of selling. You speak to most people, they say, I'm not good at selling. You can say to them, there's no selling involved in this business. All you're going to be doing is connecting people to this opportunity that exists to create money. And for the majority of South Africans, that's probably the most attractive commodity that exists at the moment in our economy. The nature of our products, because they're intangible, they're financial in nature, means we don't have stock and distribution issues. Like I said, you don't have to buy boxes of product to get started in our business. You don't have to bring your uncle's bucky tonight thinking you're going home with 2 tons of vitamins and milkshakes, right? We make the products even convenient. But your success in our business is very much dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. So a channel of distribution starts to be built when you start getting people to come look at the opportunity and they sign up, they become wealth engineers, and they take out one of our products. So in this example, you've been successful with 4 people. You've introduced 4 people to the business opportunity. They became wealth engineers. They took out one of our products. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. From that point onwards, it is almost to a degree out of your control, because these people that you've brought into the business will go out and do the same thing you're doing. They're also going to expose the opportunity to other people, and your channel of distribution starts to build on its own, largely, because you don't know anyone from this point outwards, right? This is what we call leverage, or the power duplication. You can create a channel that looks this size off of the effort of only bringing 5 people into the business. So I'll show you some examples of wealth engineers in our business where leverage is very apparent. You can speak to any of the wealth engineers. Speak to Patrick, who's been here since day one. Ask him how many people he's introduced to the business, and then ask him how big his business is. There is a massive ratio, a leverage that exists there where you can benefit out of the duplication that happens in your business. But a little tip, when you go out and find these first people, make sure you're finding the best quality people to bring into your business, because that behavior will follow into the rest of your channel. If you just bring any desperate person that wants to make money into your business at the beginning, that behavior is going to float into the rest of your business, and your business will collapse every couple of months, right? You want to bring the best quality. When you think about who you bring into the business, think about building a board of directors. You're the CEO, you're building a board of directors. Go look for people that you think will thrive in this business, people that have got the resources to do well in a business like that. And then you'll build a sustainable quality channel that will not need nursing every single month. It'll be a business that pays you a recurring income that you can walk away from. You can walk away from traditional employment, and you'll at the same time know that DuePoint's going to pay you a recurring income. You will have the luxury of going on a 3-month holiday, knowing DuePoint will pay you every single month while you're on holiday. Right? Isn't that a great prospect? How many of us have the luxury of even taking more than 2 weeks holiday nowadays, right? We don't have that at the moment. So this is another great, something great to aspire to. But it takes time to build a channel that pays you every single month when you can take a 3-month holiday. You've got to work 3 to 5 years at least before you get to that point. But I think it's worthwhile. All right, so that's what a channel of distribution looks like. At the same time, we have a warning slide. Some people do have very legitimate fears when they get invited to a presentation like this. You might not have been, you might not have heard of DuePoint or Constantia in the past before, and on invitation to this presentation, you might have thought, oh, I've been invited to another get-rich-quick scheme. Did anyone worry about that? Just frown if you were worried about that. You don't have to put your hand up, right? It's a legitimate fear. There are so many of these schemes in South Africa. Any company can attach a network marketing remuneration model to their business. Anyone. You can be selling chicken's feet and say, you go find other people to buy chicken's feet, I'll pay you commission, right? Anyone can do that. And unfortunately, we've got all these businesses that have come through the system, through our economy, that have lost people a lot of money. Some have even been brazen enough to ask you for 10, 20,000 rand to get started. Right? We saw BTC Global fail 3 weeks ago because the trader disappeared. He just disappeared with everyone's money. Right? Gone. I think there were 28,000 South Africans that had invested between 14,000 and 1.5 million rand with that business. We are not one of those businesses. We are regulated by the Financial Services Board. You can come and see the executives. We've got offices. We're here every single day, right? We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We've been around for 70 years. I promise you, get-rich-quick schemes can't do those things, right? We are not one of those get-rich-quick schemes. This is an authentic business opportunity. At the same time, do not ever romanticize the notion of entrepreneurship. It is easy to romanticize entrepreneurship because if you look at a successful entrepreneur, everything looks good, right? They've got a nice car, nice house, they're dressed nicely, even the dog looks good, right? Everything is nice about a successful entrepreneur. And it's very easy to make the mistake of looking at entrepreneur and entrepreneurship and going, oh, they must have been lucky. They must have been lucky. They must have known somebody, or they were in the right place at the right time. That's what romanticizing entrepreneurship looks like. But to be an entrepreneur, that's what the experience is like. And so my warning to you is we will never promise you success quickly or easily in this business. That's what get-rich-quick schemes promise you, right? That's why there's so much risk attached to those businesses. In this business, the opportunity is to work and to get rewarded with recurring income every single month, to create recurring income. And there's massive power in recurring income. So that's our warning slide. Like any other insurance company or financial services provider, we have got products. I'm going to go over the products very quickly. There are 3 products that we have. You are free to consider one product or all 3 products in becoming a wealth engineer. The first product is called Access Wealth. It costs 324 Rand every month. of which 100 Rand will be invested into a tax-free investment account, right? That tax-free investment account sits with Sanlam, which is the biggest investment house in the country. We're not affiliated to Sanlam, by the way. We just use them as a service provider to house our investment. So the 100 Rand goes into that every month, and on top of the investment, we give you a little bit of personal accident cover, 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment, it's tax-free, all the proceeds you make on the investment, and if you're killed in a car accident, for example, we will pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand, right? Plus whatever's the investment. And this is a no-notice investment. It means you can draw your investment out at any stage. It takes us about 5 days to process the paperwork to get it done, but it's not a 30-day or a 60-day notice investment, right? So that's the investment product, 324 Rand a month, Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is our insurance product because it's strictly insurance. It's 299 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.2 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Now note I always say personal accident cover. I'm not saying it's life insurance. It's not comprehensive life insurance. It's not funeral cover. It covers you in the event of death through accident, right? So what is the beauty of that? You might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound great. The beauty of that is that we can offer this product to anybody over the age of 18. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what your health status is. I can offer this product to someone who's 70, who's diabetic, who's got heart problems. The premium remains the same, and the amount of cover that they receive will remain the same. There is no prejudice in terms of age or health with this product. Right? That's what makes the product so good. So that's Wealth Guard, our insurance product. And then the third and final product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points is 299 Rand a month too. And this product aims to save us money on the money that we're spending every month anyway. So if you look at the list of companies that we've partnered with, we have negotiated discounts with these companies that we pass on to our Wealth Points members. So we've got everything covered. We've got data, groceries, retail, beauty, health, we've got car manufacturers, we've got restaurants, hotels, we've got everything covered, right? So I bet you spend money with at least one of those businesses that you see listed there. So through Wealth Points, for example, if you want to buy data from Always On, typically a gig would cost you 100 Rand from Always On, but through Wealth Points, you only pay 37 Rand, right? If you want to go buy a Range Rover, anyone about to buy a Range Rover? When you're about to buy a Range Rover, you will go to Jaguar, Land Rover, Santon, and buy your Range Rover there. They will give you the best price in the country, right? So this is the commitment we have out of partners like this. We are always adding new partners to this product. This is a wonderful product if you're looking for immediate benefit. So those are the three products, very straightforward. There's more information on YouTube and on our website if you want to go find out more about the products. If you have any questions, come speak to me. But what separates us from other financial businesses? Typically insurance companies. So typical insurance companies, they spend a lot of money on advertising. Right, we see that advertising all the time. You turn on the TV, there's insurance companies. Turn on the radio, insurance companies. Drive down the road, there's insurance billboards everywhere. The insurance industry spends a massive budget on advertising. That's how they get their product to market. At DuePoint, you won't see a DuePoint logo outside of our building because we don't do any advertising. We don't spend a cent on marketing. And so we can take our budget that typically you would spend on advertising and we can give it to our wealth engineers in the form of our returns and our rewards program. Because our wealth engineers are doing the work of getting our business to market, right? And that's how our business model works. That's what separates us from traditional insurance companies. So the returns and the rewards program are the ways you guys can earn and benefit out of this product. So out of this business. So let's talk about the returns. The returns program is the recurring income that you make every single month. This is why we're here, right? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every single product you have in your channel. Remember that big diagram, the slide with all the dots on? Right? You're getting paid 27.50 Rand for every single one of those dots. But it's dependent on where that product lies in relation to you. So remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to DuePoint? That product, those people lie on your first point. And according to the table, we actually pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So you get paid 55 Rand for every product on your first point every month. Remember, it's recurring income. You don't have to go ask for the money from those people every month or try and get them to join every month. They're already wealth engineers, right? So you get to earn the 55 Rand every single month. That's where the recurring income comes in, the power of that. On point 2, so those people you introduced go out and they start building their channels. So that product on point 2, again, you get paid 55 Rand. And then on point 3, you see the multiplier drops back to 100%. You're earning the 27 Rand 50. And as the product gets further and further away from you, as your channel builds and builds and builds, right, the power duplication, you see the multiplier drops all the way to 4% by point 8. So you're earning 1 Rand 10 for every product on point 8. But we don't limit you there. That's why we've got a plus next to the point 8. Because from point 8 onwards into infinity, in theory, you can keep earning in this business. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. There is no limitation on the size of your channel here at DuePoint. There is no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. We've got wealth engineers already at point 30 in 24 months, right? So the onus falls squarely on your shoulders. You want a bigger channel? No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you. So this is the mechanics of the returns. Fairly straightforward. The next question people often ask is, well, how much do people make in this business? How much money can I start earning over a certain amount of time? So we built this thing called the Path to Success. It is a projection over the next 5 years of what you could be earning as a wealth engineer. But it is based on a premise, right? So the premise is this projection assumes in your first month you can bring 3 people into the business. Not 5, like in the example, just 3. And then every consecutive month thereafter, it assumes that you can bring in 2 people. So let's say in March, you join in March, you bring 3 people in March. In April, you bring 2. In May, 2. June, 2. July, 2. August, 2. You keep bringing 2. 1 person every 2 weeks. If you can follow that growth, you can expect to be earning about 2,500 Rand after 6 months. Now, some people might be bitterly disappointed by 2,500 Rand and thought, why have I come to a presentation all the way in Bryanston for 2,500 Rand after 6 months of work? Just frown if you think that. See, not happy. Want more money. You want more money. It'll get there. But let me give you a quick lesson in the value of money, because we make the mistake, I make the mistake all the time. I think of money like a consumer. If I had to give every single person here 2,500 Rand tonight, how long would that money last? 2 hours. We spend the money very quickly, right? Because what we do as consumers is we look at money from a spending value. We see money, the value of money, and we go, well, what can I buy with it? You know, that's the wrong way to think about money. That's what gets us into trouble in the first place. If you want to start creating wealth, really wealth in your life, you have to think about how you can leverage money, especially if you have debt in your life. So here's an example of someone with 1 million Rand debt. They owe the bank 1 million Rand on a bond on a house. The bond is over 20 years, right? They've agreed to pay the bank back that 1 million Rand with interest over the next 20 years. At prime plus 2, you're going to be paying back the bank 11,500 a month for 20 years. So if I engage in a bond today at 40, I'll make my last payment when I'm 60. But at 40, I joined DuePoint, and 6 months later, with some success, I'm earning that little 2,500 Rand. If I take that 2,500 Rand and put it into my bond as an additional payment, I'll nearly halve the term of my bond. Little 2,500 Rand. That's only about 20% of my bond payment. It'll nearly reduce my bond by 50%, right? Instead of taking 20 years, it'll take me 11 and a half years. It equates to nearly 1 million Rand in savings. That's interest you would have paid back to the bank, right? At month 12, you're suddenly earning 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand every year that you're getting. Who would like a 100,000 Rand check just before Christmas every year? You just come to DuePoint, we write out the cash check for you, 108,000 Rand, and you take it home just before Christmas once a year. How would that change Christmas? Right? That's 12 months of work. 12 months away from today. You keep going at 24 months, we're suddenly at 30,000 Rand a month. Imagine coming to our offices and picking up a 30,000 Rand check every month, over and above your day job salary. How quickly will you become debt-free if you're earning an extra 30,000 a month? Or you're going to buy a fast car and stay indebted? That's my problem. I'd buy the fast car, you see. We keep going. At month 36, you're earning nearly 50,000 Rand a month. If you want to look at the debt example again, at month 30, you would be earning about 36,000 Rand. Here the example is someone with a 5 million Rand bond. Who knows what they're paying on that bond? What? 65,000 a month. If you take that 36,000 Rand and you put it into your bond, you'll pay that 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. So for me, I think, ooh, pay a house off like that in less than 7 years. At the age of 47, I could own a 5 million Rand house. Right? I've paid my debt off, and I decide to buy another house. Now I can start investing in property, right? So I buy another house and I pay that off at the age of 54. I buy a third house and pay that off at the age of 61. Now when I'm ready for retirement, I can go back to a home that I paid off 14 years ago. I've got 2 properties that are paid off that I'm renting out for 60,000, 70,000 a month. As a pensioner, does that not sound like a much better pension to go on than to suddenly realize that I have to survive on half the income I was used to last month? Imagine that shock to the system when your income just ends and they give you a farewell party just to rub it in, right? It's not a great prospect for the majority of us. We keep going. At month 48, we are close to 70,000 a month. And at month 60, 5 years from today, believe it or not, you could be generating about R1 million in annual recurring income. Now imagine coming to DuePoint's office just before Christmas, so just before the offices close, maybe on the 18th, the 19th, come to the DuePoint's offices and we write out a R1 million check for you once a year. How does your Christmas look? Hey? Sure, your kids are going to love you more than they love you today. They are, right? It is life-changing. It is life-changing. So you might be thinking, well, that's great. It's academic. You know, he's talking about blue sky ideas. Yeah, it's academic. It's just theory. It's based on this 3 + 2. It is only theory. It is, I admit it. It's only theory. At the same time, we've got wealth engineers that join this business. They don't do anything. They join and they don't do anything. We've got some that join and they do 3 + 2. So they're following this projection. And we've got others that join that are doing more than 3 + 2. So I know that this might just be theory, but there are wealth engineers doing this. Anyone can do it. It is equal opportunity. We've got George and Bridget down from Port Elizabeth. They joined right at the end of December, so the beginning of 2017. They've been around for just over a year. The value of their channel is sitting at 5,500 Rand a month already. We've paid them to date 33,000 Rand. Their channel size is sitting at nearly 150, and they've only got 18 first pointers. So they only introduced 18 people to the business, but we've paid them 33,000 Rand, and the size of their business is actually sitting on 150 people. So there are 130 people that joined that they don't know in their channel, contributing to their recurring income. Do you see the power duplication, the leverage that works in our business? We've got Zacchaeus and Tamani from Mpumalanga. He joined on the 6th of June, so he's been in the business for about 8 months, doing fantastically well. His recurring income's already at 7,500 Rand a month. The products in its channel are sitting at 250, and the amount of people that is introduced in the space of 8 months is 28, right? So you can see that he's doing more than 3 + 2. That's why he's at 7,500 Rand after 8 months. That big number there, 108,450, is XP. You earn XP in everything that you do in our business, called experience points. It's an indicator of how active you are as a wealth engineer. And I can see if he's averaging 10,000 XP a month, he is working. He is fully engaged in this business. He's doing everything that he should be doing. So who knows where he's going to be? In 8 months, if he's created that, where's he going to be in 60 months? Here we've got Marsha and Rulof. They joined our business when the DuePoint division was launched, right? At the beginning of February in 2016. Their recurring income is sitting at nearly 35,000 a month. 2,500 people in their channel. They've got 17 points open, so you'll understand that a little later. And they've got 162 products to go before they get to rank 11. Do you know what happens when they get an extra 162 products in their business? We're going to buy them a brand new car for 250,000 Rand. Marsha's already decided what car she wants, right? They are that close to it. They are that close. In the next month or two, you will see all the fanfare in our parking lot with a big golden bow on a brand new car. They're going to drive it off our parking lot. No expense to them, not a cent, right? So these are some of our wealth engineers. You can go onto YouTube. We must have about close to 50, 60 wealth engineers that we've interviewed that have given their testimony about this business. Right? And it's not all roses. They'll tell you the business is hard. It's frustrating dealing with people. They let you down constantly. But they push through, and it's created recurring income anyway. We've got thousands of wealth engineers joining this business every single month. Everybody is different. Everyone is different. Everyone's creating different amounts of recurring income. Everyone's running a different race. They're running at a different pace. You have to decide individually what you want out of the business. Don't let anyone in your life dictate to you what you can have. That's why we're here this evening. We're tired of being dictated to. I don't want the economy to tell me how much I can earn and what I can have in this life. I don't want my boss telling me the industry my company works in. The opportunity in this business is to take up those cudgels and do it for yourself, right? When you can't depend on anyone else. Decide what you want out of this business. This is the recurring income that you can build on a monthly basis. So the decision is not whether you want R1 million every year in recurring income. The decision is, how does DuePoint fit into my life, and can I invest time and sacrifice time to do this business? Is it 100% risk-free? No. But I'm never going to ask you for thousands of rands to invest in this business. Never, right? Because we make the business risk-free so that everyone gets a fair shot at it. Take a swing and see what this business can do for you. That's the decision you need to make. Getting started, very straightforward. Read our code of conduct. It's our contract with you that defines what you can and cannot do as a wealth engineer. And then just register. So you can register on the mobile app. The person that invited you here can help you get registered. Or just go onto our website. Click on that big blue apply button. You become a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. That's how quickly you can become a business owner of your own channel distribution. You can start building this business tonight if you wanted to. Complete the online training, right? Because that'll help you build your business more effectively and faster. Set goals for yourself. It's such an underestimated task that a lot of people don't do. I think we're too scared to set goals for ourselves, because if you don't meet the goal, then you think you're a failure. Fail at the goal. That doesn't matter. At least you're going towards where you want to go towards in life, right? Decide what you want out of this business, set the goal, and then prepare the plan to get there, and make sure you're speaking to people, because that's really what this business is all about, is speaking to people. If you're speaking to someone every day, you're doing DuePoint every day. If you go through a day where you didn't speak to anyone, you didn't do DuePoint that day, right? You didn't work on your business that day. We've got Easter weekend ahead of us. How many of us have decided already that Easter weekend we deserve to sit and relax and do nothing over this weekend? Right? A lot of people have. We see it already in our statistics. We see all the data coming through. Everyone's on holiday already the day before the holiday started. Right? They have. That's just human nature. You've got to decide which camp you're in. Are you in the camp building your business for a better future for you and your family? Or are you in the camp that makes excuses? You can start building your business immediately, even over Easter weekend. We give you merchandise to help you build your business more effectively. So please consider buying business cards. This is part of a professional package. You can't propose some awesome business opportunity to people and not have business cards, right? That speaks to the credibility. It speaks to your belief in the business. So please consider getting business cards. I promise you, when you start having success in this business, I will buy you the black business cards. I'll show you the black business cards. They're worth getting, I promise. The USB sticks, all our videos on the USB sticks, so you don't have to use data if you're data shy. Those pins represent people earning money in our business. The moment you start earning money in our business, you make sure you buy one of those pins and wear it. And make sure you don't speak to anyone who doesn't have a pin on their lapel, because then you're speaking to the 0+0 club, right? If you're going to speak for, and if you're going to ask anyone for advice, right? If you're going to ask for real advice from people that have been here, they'll have a big, shiny, bright, colorful pin on their lapel. So make sure you get one when you get there. And then we've got a host of other merchandise. Everything's in the cabinet there on display. The credit card machine has been warmed up for you guys. The pricing's on the counter. Get the merchandise. The YouTube channel, subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we do a live presentation like this. Presentations like this are opportunity to build your business. We do this live. I do this presentation live every single day except Sunday. I'm working 6 days a week into the evenings for 2 years. I can do it. Anyone can do it, right? That's the opportunity. So we've got presentations all the time. YouTube will tell you every time we do one. Download the mobile app. It tells you exactly what's happening in your business. We spend a lot of money on this mobile app so that it can tell you whether you're making money, where you're making the money, whether you're making money while you're sleeping. Because when your business grows, when you weren't part of it, that's leverage happening. And we want to take advantage of that leverage. Some don'ts that I need to highlight very quickly. So you need resources to be a wealth engineer. If you can't afford one of our products, you are going to struggle. The business is not designed to burden the burdened. The business is designed to empower people that have resources to do well in this business. You need to be able to afford data. You need access to data, right? You need to have access to transport, because this business is still a face-on-face business. Face on face is always best. If you ever do business, if you ever want to create relationship with business partners, face on face is always best. That requires transport. Don't ever complete a DuePoint application form on behalf of somebody else. Some people are very naughty. They write down people's details and then they go home and they capture all those details on the online app. That's illegal. It's fraudulent. We can't do that. Don't add direct family members that live with you in your household into your channel. So we call it an anti-stacking rule. I know some people get a little upset about it, but unfortunately there's been too much manipulation in the past, so we had to make the rule. If you've got family members that have left home, they can be in your channel. No problem. But if they still live with you, they'll have to be part of somebody else's channel, not yours, right? So they still have opportunity, just not in your channel. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. Oh my word. This drives me up the wall. Up the wall. I don't know how this happens. I don't know how this happens. There must be people joining this business that don't see this presentation. Because just today, this woman came up on the radar. She must have posted Facebook ads on about 100 groups in South Africa in one day. Now I've got to tell her, take all those posts off. She said, no, I'm not. Cheers. All right? That's what we have to deal with. People think they can take shortcuts by just posting up the DuePoint opportunity on Facebook groups. It doesn't work. Go speak to any wealth engineer that's got a shiny DuePoint badge on their lapel. None of them do Facebook. None of them. Business is always done over the phone, over WhatsApp, face-to-face. That's how business is done, right? So please, don't start a Facebook page. Don't advertise us on Facebook groups. You're actually breaking financial services regulation. I wouldn't care about it if it didn't affect us, but we're actually at regulatory risk if people are doing that. And so it's a huge risk to our business if people do that. That's why we warn everyone not to do it. Don't send, so this last point, let me rephrase the last point. The last point talks to the professionalism you have to have when you do this business. You are representing DuePoint. You can see we take our business very seriously. We're very proud of the business that we have. You have to have that same rapport when you go out and represent DuePoint. So treat the people, your prospects, with dignity and with respect, because you don't know who you're bringing into your business. You could be bringing in a superstar into your business. They might even be a stranger. You might have met them at the shops and got into a conversation about the economy and then told them, oh, we've got an opportunity, come watch DuePoint, right? You don't know the person. Treat everyone with respect, professionally, with dignity. You don't know who you're bringing into your business, right? So that's just a note about that. Every month we've got our March is nearly over. So, you know, you might not want to take too much cognizance of this one. But every month we do something called a wealth quest. A wealth quest is your opportunity to draw more benefit out of us in terms of the rewards that we have. So every month we've got a challenge. We issue a challenge to our wealth engineers. March is called Let Me Entertain You. The challenge was, through March, if you could get 20 new WealthPoint program members onto your first and second point in your business, you would be able to choose a brand new iPhone, or you could choose 100 gigs of data with an LTE router, or we'd give you 5,000 Rand in travel vouchers, right? If you did this over March. But March is nearly over. So for our guests, the people that are joining this evening, on the 1st of April, there's going to be a new wealth quest. Right? Then you've got the whole of April to challenge yourself with a new wealth quest. And there are new rewards. So look out for the email on the 1st of April. I think it's about 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. You'll get an email in your inbox. Click download images so you can see the pictures. Check out what that new wealth quest is. There's more benefit for you there. For our rank 4s and above, we've got another quest called the 90-day challenge. If they can get 5 new people to join their business between the 3rd of March and the 31st of May and help them get to rank 2 in our business, we will give them an extra 25,000 Rand. Right? If you are rank 2 or 3, you can still partake in this, because if you get to rank 4 before the 31st of May, you will still be part of this challenge. So that's the challenge for our rank 4s and above. On to our rewards program. Now, the rewards program is something completely different. What we've really been discussing is the recurring income. Right? The recurring income is because of your channel of distribution, the returns program. The rewards program is something extra. So when you start doing business as a DuePoint wealth engineer, we're going to be giving you XP the whole time. You're going to get XP for anything that you do as a wealth engineer. If you come to presentations, we give you XP. If you bring guests, we give you more XP. If you do a home presentation, we give you XP. If you log into the app every day, we give you XP. So there's about 20 different things that earn you XP. Right? And when you start collecting more of these experience points and your channel grows at the same time, we reward you along the way. So if you join tonight, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. But to get to rank 1, all you need is 1,000 XP, and you can do that in less than 5 minutes. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, right? And when you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and you get 55 Rand at the end of that month. Once off. It's not recurring. It's once off. But what you've just proven to yourself is if you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank in this business. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to any figure of recurring income. Because the people at rank 1 are doing exactly the same thing as the people at rank 20. They are just speaking to someone every day, right? And as you rank up, the rewards get bigger. There's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check waiting for you, on top of your recurring income. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them build their channels faster and more effectively. At rank 5, you get a fancy USB stick that plugs into everything and anything, and we've got all our videos on that USB stick. At rank 7, remember I said I'd buy you the fancy black business cards. You buy the cheap white ones, I will pay for the expensive black ones. 12,500 Rand for one set of cards. That's how much we pay for it, right? Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because I know through marketing and advertising that I've operated in 20 years, that business is all about credibility and impressions. And when you go out and you try to connect people to this business that perhaps they've never heard of, DuePoint, I promise you, when you sit down and you put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, they will listen to what you have to say. Because your credibility's just gone up, purely because your business card costs 50 times more than the business card they've got in their pockets, right? These are tools to help you. I'm serious. Go look at those business cards. Ask Patrick if you can see one of his business cards. You'll see what I'm talking about. At rank 9, this is your first recurring reward. So this reward you get to enjoy every single year. What is it? It is an invitation to our international conference. We take you, your spouse, and your kids to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip, business class flights every single year for the rest of your life. We've got wealth engineers that got to rank 9 in less than 12 months. Some have taken a bit more. One person got there in 5 months. We've got 8 months left before our next rank 9 trip. So you can do it in 8 months if you really want to. If you want to be one of the hardest working wealth engineers in our business, you can get to rank 9 before the end of this year. But don't despair if you don't get to it this year, right? You've got to be one of the hardest working people this year. Next year you make it. Or the year after that you make it. Because it's something you're going to enjoy with your family every single year for the rest of your life. So take a look at what we did in our last rank 9 trip. I invite everyone to come and join us. We have already booked the flights. We've booked the hotel accommodation. Now it's just about the work getting there.
When all of your wind has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
guys were laughing because those fish were going to eat pumi, right? Did you see that? Shame. So that was our rank 9 trip. It is available for every single person in this room. Every single one of you can be on a business class flight in the next year or 2 or perhaps 3. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, right? As long as you keep working towards it. I think it's even worth working 5 years towards. If you know you're going on an overseas trip with your family, business class tickets, all expenses paid trip. We pick you up, Mercedes-Benz in your driveway. You don't even have to bring your wallet with you. You bring your clothes, just a bikini. Bikini, swim trunks, passport. That's all you need. And we will drop you off 7 days later back on your driveway. It is worth the work. At rank 11, this is where Marsha and Rulof are about to hit. Rank 11, R250,000 on a brand new car of your choice. You get to choose the car you want, right? Imagine that, 250,000 Rand that we give you in cash for that car. That is what our rewards program looks like. You can get excited by the rewards program, but there's more power in the returns program, believe it or not. The recurring income has more power than the rewards program, but we are going to have fun through the rewards program, right? So my invitation to you is to come and join us here at DuePoint. We're a team of people that collaborate with each other. We support each other. No one is in competition with each other. This is very unlike business, right? And employment, you're fighting the person that sits next to you, because when they start talking about retrenchment, they've got to choose between you and your friend at work. In this business, it's all about collaboration. The business here is geared to support you along the entire way. The entire way we want to support you in this business. So I invite you to join us. I invite you to do work over this weekend while everyone's on holiday. Everyone's on holiday this weekend. Perhaps a lot of us can't even afford to go visit our families over Easter, right? Because of our circumstance. Someone is waiting for you to tell them about DuePoint, to connect them to an opportunity that can change their circumstance. So I invite you to come speak to me afterwards if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a wonderful long weekend and a blessed weekend. And I hope 2018 is the year that defines itself in your life. Good luck. Thank you.